Hello YouTube, it is Championdjk coming at you again with another weekly episode, and as usual I got some stuff to show you. A small amount of things today, but some pretty cool stuff indeed. I did find, one thing at a store. I found this 5-pack from Matchbox. It's got that sweet 510 in there. That's pretty neat. We're going to go ahead and open up this and check that out. That should be pretty cool. It is the, are these themed? Oh, Rally. Matchbox Rally 2. So, definitely into 3 out of the 5 cars for sure. So, we'll check that out. And then, I did get some stuff. Oddly, I had to go to a work meeting that was out of town, and there was a hobby shop. So, when I was, when we had a break for lunch, I went for a little walk, and I went to this hobby shop, and they had some newer Johnny Lightning and Racing Champions hanging on the pegs. So that was actually pretty exciting because I don't see Racing Champions mint like ever on pegs anywhere around me. And this latest series here, 2022 Release 1, is a really good series actually. They didn't have the whole series there, but they did have 3 of the cars that I wanted. The Buick Regal, the 1968 Chevy Chevelle, and the 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona. This is a awesome casting. Racing Champions. I think it's been released as Johnny Lightning at some point as well. Anyway, it's a really cool casting. And then these two are actually Ertl castings. Ertl Vintage American Muscle or American Muscle castings. That's what these are. And if you watch this channel long enough and stuff like that, you know that those castings are really cool and that I collect them. So I had to get them. There's another casting that's also that I know of for sure is one of those as well, and that's the 1969 Ford Mustang Mach 1. So I do have to find that one yet. But these are pretty awesome. So we're going to go ahead and open up these and check those out. Racing Champion's kind of weird. They don't really put out a lot, which is kind of interesting. You know, Round 2 really focuses on Auto World and Johnny Lightning. It seems like Johnny Lightning is the dominant brand because they come out with a lot more series and sets, and they're more all over the place. Auto World's a little bit harder to find, and then Racing Champions is, I don't know, local store-wise, difficult to find. You don't really ever see them nowadays in like Walmart or anything like that. I think I've got like a Meijer that's near me that carries them, and you know, you might be able to find some at Hobby Lobby. Other than that, they're kind of difficult to come by. So these were $8.99 a piece, a little bit higher than I wanted to pay for them, but it's not too bad. So found those, and then I found some Johnny Lightning, and this gets a little interesting. We found what are these from? Classic Gold 2022 Release 2. That's this one and this one, I believe. Yeah. So I found these two from this release. We've got the 1984 Nissan 300ZX, which is a brand new casting for Johnny Lightning. So I'm really stoked to actually check that out finally. I haven't seen one yet in person, so this is going to be really cool to look at. And then we've got the 1986 Ford Mustang SVO, which is originally an Auto World Deluxe casting, and this one looks pretty sick in this color scheme as well. So, and this one is what, silver poly. This is version B. These are both version B for 2022 Classic Gold Release 2. So really cool there. And then I found some from a Street Freaks release, and I believe these are 2021 Release 4. Yeah. Okay, so I found these. Both of these are Auto World Deluxe castings. So we've got in the Project in Progress, the 66 Chevy El Camino. That's pretty awesome. I love the Project in Progress line. Those are great. And this is a cool casting. Of course, this was an Auto World Deluxe casting, originally retooled for Johnny Lightning. And then we've also got the 1993 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. This one looks like it's got some quality issues, and I would have left it behind. because of those quality issues, except for the fact that it's a white lightning. Now I'm on the fence of what to do with this. Oddly, I collect Firebirds, right? And the last 2 white lightnings I found were Firebirds. So I kind of feel like I have to keep this, and I have to open it. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to open it. We'll check it out. I do need to get this in the other color, and I'd like to get a regular one as well. If I had well, I guess I really don't need a regular one. The white lightning will suffice. This I definitely want to get the version B of. I guess same with this. There's probably some other cool ones in this casting too. They just didn't really have it all there. So, whatever. So anyway, those. Got those. And then, lastly, the stuff that we're going to look at. I got 2 of the items from my buddy's SC Diecast. One is this. This we've never seen on the channel before. PB Army ASAP, we've got a Pabst Blue Ribbon, the original. Pretty cool. What are these called? Oh, man, I'm losing my mind here. Sprint cars, right? Yeah. So, this is 1/64 scale. It's a sprint car. The packaging is kind of neat. It's made by Acme Trading Company, it looks like. Yeah, Acme. So, we'll take a look at this. These are pretty interesting. It looks to be pretty highly detailed. I haven't even taken it out and looked at it yet. I don't know if it's mostly plastic or metal or what. I just got it because it looked really detailed, and I thought, that's kind of interesting. It's kind of different, kind of new for me, so let's check her out. So I grabbed that. And then I got the Mio exclusive Patina Series 1962 Chevrolet Impala Auto World. And this thing looks pretty rad, too. So we're going to check that out as well. And lastly, 2 more Miho exclusive Auto Worlds, and these I got online. I think, well, my buddy Todd ordered them. I think we just split costs on getting a couple of these, whatever, and shipping and all that jazz. I don't remember exactly what the deal was, but we ended up with these 2. We've got both of them, well, both of them are Ratfink stuff, and both of them are Mopars. We've got 74 Plymouth Roadrunner Ratfink livery. This actually looks really cool. I'm usually not a huge fan of like the Ratfink stuff or whatever graphics on cars like this, but I don't know, this one actually looks really cool. And then this one actually looks pretty fantastic as well. Kind of a more modern, modern car, modern kind of graphic on there. Ratfink. So cool. That's pretty awesome. So we're going to open up those, and yeah, that's it. So we got that amount of items. I've got a ton more stuff here already that I need to show, and that will be coming soon. Next week, well, next week, what are we going to do? I don't know. I got the monthly meet, I think, next week, so I guess it depends on what I pick up there. But I do have, I've got some Tomica Premium stuff. I got some Tomica Limited Vintage. I got some Mini GT. I got some goodies in here. So, yeah, we got plenty of stuff to look at. All right, let's go ahead and flip the camera around and let's look at this stuff up close. And, yeah, stay tuned. All right, let's kind of look at this stuff somewhat in the order of what we just showed in the front half of the video. We're going to start with this Matchbox Rally 2 5-pack. And I'm really only interested, I guess, in 3 of the vehicles. We got a Geo Predator. It's kind of cool, I guess. Maybe I'll keep that one. 70 Datsun 510 Rally, International Scout 4x4. Not a huge fan of that casting. We got a Toyota Land Cruiser FJ40. That one's cool, and it's a National Parks livery. And then Baja Bullet, which I kind of like that one, even though it's like a non-licensed casting. So let's go ahead and open it up. I think the big deal with this one is, of course, that it's got that Datsun 510 in it, and I believe that's got like a Lamley logo on it. Yeah, right there. So that's pretty cool. You know, Lamley's got its logo on all sorts of stuff. This is just another one to add to the list. Pretty neat. But let's take a look at these in order. We've got the Geo first. Interesting vehicle. Man, this thing rolls like crazy good. Just won't sit still. Got a gold plastic base, metal body, plastic everywhere else. I don't know. This thing's, it's not an attractive car or automobile or utility vehicle thing. So, not super into it, but I guess it's kind of cool. It's kind of odd. Nobody really makes Geo vehicles in, you know, in the scale besides Matchbox. So, that's kind of cool. I guess. It's unique. All right. And then the 510, of course, this is the one that is undoubtedly the reason why most people are going to buy this 5-pack is because of this. And there's your Lambert. He's listed as the driver for this, which is cool. And it's a cool casting. I like the casting. I do pick up these whenever they come out. So I don't think I ever got the one that was in a 9-pack, though. I think I just kind of passed on it because I didn't want to spend, I don't know, $10 on just the one car. But whatever. There that is. So that is nifty. Nifty, nifty. And then we got this Scout, which again, I'm not a huge fan of this casting, mainly just proportionate-wise, you know, proportion-wise where it's got these massive wheels. And the body tooling's not bad. It's not bad, but the just the how it looks with these gigantic wheels on it, I'm just really not into it. And then we got this one, which is really cool. I like this. I like this casting. I've got a few different versions of it. And this one's in National Parks livery. Another reason why people will pick up this 5-pack definitely will be this. So, pretty awesome. Land Cruiser. Digging that. That's pretty cool. And then we've got this non-licensed Baja truck, which I think looks really good. And it's kind of funny because like Hot Wheels and Matchbox both have like unlicensed trucks like this. And they look pretty similar as I'm remembering. I mean, I'm just going off of memory here because I haven't seen the other one, the Hot Wheels one, in a while. But kind of neat. So I think I'll probably hang on to that one. I think I'm going to get rid of these two. I'm just going to put these in my loose bin or whatever for the monthly meet. Maybe somebody will snag them for $1 each or whatever. All right. So that's that. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. And actually, let's take a look before we dip into the round 2 stuff, which is pretty much the remainder of this video is all round 2. We got Auto World, well, Miho round 2. We got Auto World Racing Champions and Johnny Lightning. Excuse me. So before we get into that, though, let's take a look at some Pabst Blue Ribbon sprint car. This is 2022 number 5W Pabst Blue Ribbon sprint car, Lucas Wolf, part number that, which you don't really need to know. And yeah, I don't know. SC Diecast got these, and I don't really ever see these, so I was definitely interested in it. The packaging's cool because it's resealable. So you can just pop it open. It's like a Protecto. You just pop it open like that. There's a card back right there. The other thing that's interesting, you don't normally see like beer being advertised on, 1/64 scale diecast. Of course, like Hot Wheels could never do something like that, or anybody really that would sell these in like a Walmart or anything like that. So obviously these are only like a hobby kind of thing. Official Pabst Blue Ribbon licensing. And we got the 16 ounce cans, the pounders. Pretty neat. I don't know how I'm going to display this one or what I'm going to do. I might just put it back in this package. I don't know. But at first glance, I mean, it's got a lot of detail. It's got a ton of detail. It feels like it's mostly plastic. The base is plastic. This center body part is metal. This is plastic around here. That's metal, I think. It's hard to tell. There's a lot of parts in this. And then the big, like, wing thing, spoiler dealy thingy majiggies, those are plastic. The wheels are rubber. It's a soft rubber. The thing rolls actually quite well. And I just love the wheels. The wheels are really nicely detailed. And they got detailed tread. I don't know. I think this thing's pretty darn cool, actually. So I'm kind of glad I picked it up. It almost feels like, I don't know, Kyosho quality for like the Formula 1 cars that they've done. It's kind of what this feels like. It's kind of lightweight because it's got a plastic base and stuff like that. There's a lot of plastic on it. But it looks really good. And it's a unique piece of my collection because I really don't have, you know, obviously I don't have any 1/64 scale sprint cars in my collection. I just don't. They had different ones too. This is just the one that I picked out because of Pabst Blue Ribbon, and that used to be a beer of choice back when I was, you know, 21, 22. That was the cool beer to drink. Actually, it was kind of before it was really the cool beer to drink, you know, because I was ahead of my time, right? Yeah. So it was the cheap beer to drink. One of the cheap beer to drink. Still's cheap, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, Pabst Blue Ribbon. Heineken. All right. So anyway, there's that. Pretty neat. Pretty neat indeed. I think we should look at Racing Champions next, since we're kind of looking at racing vehicles. We got the Mr. Motion, Baldwin Motion, 1968 Chevy Chevelle SS 427. And again, this is from Racing Champions Mint 2022. Release 1, and I think they only came out. Did they only come out with one release last year? Because the look for other Racing Champions stuff on the back here says 2021 Release 1. I mean, is that all they came out with in 2021? It's very possible. This set seems to be really cool. Oh, by the way, here's the name of that hobby store, Hiawatha Hobbies. You can look that up and you'll figure out maybe where I was. I don't know if it's a chain or if that's just a one-off store. I have no idea. You can read that if you want to. 2022 lineup of classic, highly detailed, and collectible die-cast cars available in all new and exciting paint schemes. This is pretty exciting. All right. So again, the reason why I snagged on this one is because it is an Ertl American Muscle casting. I mean, it's a pretty sick-looking little Chevelle, too. But yeah, these have plastic bases. I've talked about them several times. They have plastic bases. They are detailed, very much so on the base. Where like these are actually separate little pieces for the exhaust and stuff. There's like suspension parts and stuff like that. The differential rear axle stuff is all like kind of like a separate component in there. The fuel tank covers up. It's either a screw or a rivet that's under there that's holding the casting together. Same with up here. The rivet or screw is covered. The other thing that's interesting about these, the majority of them, I think actually all of them, have an opening hood. If we can get it open. There we go. Opening hood, detailed engine bay there. Looks good. And then I think they all also have, I'm pretty sure all of them have an opening trunk. So they got an opening boot, an opening bonnet, and that's as far as this one's going to open for me. I'm not going to force it, but there's really not much in there. I think there's like a little toolkit thing or whatever. It would be like the jack and stuff like that. But yeah, that's what's in there. And then they have rubber tires. And all in all, they look pretty good. I have a minor quality, I mean, maybe major quality issue on mine, where it looks like the wheel was pushed on a little bit hard at the factory, and it almost popped completely through the center of the wheel, which is unfortunate. It's not really that visible, though, so it's not that big of a deal, but it's still kind of annoying. So this is the Chevelle casting. Is there a dent in the roof, too? Something looks weird about this. Maybe it's just the way that trim is painted on there. I don't know. It looks a little odd. But this is very, very cool. I would highly recommend picking these up. These also have inserted details for headlights. painted details for taillights, but they're very detailed. They're probably fairly close to actual 1/64 scale, I would guess. I don't think they ever claimed to be perfect 1/64 scale or true 1/64 scale, but they are some pretty cool castings. I mean, if you can find them in the Ertl line from back in the day, go for them, but these modern ones are pretty good as well. So, definitely behind the releasing of these castings. I love these castings. I think they're fantastic. It's too bad there's not that many different ones. So sticking with that, then we're going to look at this. This is the Big Willie Robinson 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona, number 4 in the series. These are limited to 6,800 pieces, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that. But this is another Ertl casting. So same deal here. We got very, very detailed base, albeit it's plastic. So if that's a turnoff to you, too bad. But it's plastic, but it's worth it being plastic with all these little extra little bits and bobs. I mean, look at this. You can see that it's a separate piece there. This exhaust system is all kind of like one piece that kind of snakes through here. It's just really cool. And of course the wheels are rubber, and then we are going to have an opening hood and actually an opening trunk as well on this one. If I can get it. There it goes. So there's your opening trunk. Kind of a silly car to have an opening trunk feature on. I don't think it really adds much with that wing being there, but it does the thing. And then this, of course, the hood opens as well. And the engine looks so small for how big this engine bay is. Anywho and how, this car is super cool. Street Racers Incorporated Big Willie. And this is really cool. I've got a bunch, and I mean a bunch, of variations of this casting. There was a couple that, this was released in Racing Champions prior. I think actually the first Racing Champions Round 2 release had this casting in it, in 2 different colors, of course, version A and version B. And then I've also got it at least a couple, I want to say 3 maybe different variations of this I have from Ertl. So I've got a total now of about, I think, 6 different ones. So really, really neat. It's a cool casting. I highly recommend you get at least one of these in your collection. It does not have to be this one. If you like it in a different color, go for the other color. The colors that were in the original Racing Champions Mint line, the first one from round 2, are really sick. They're metallic, and they look really good. One of them's like an olive color, another one's more green, but they look fantastic. But this one would be not a bad one to get to. And I honestly think that this is probably the best Dodge Charger Daytona in 1/64 scale that I know of. Anyway, so can't recommend that one enough. It is a super cool casting. All right, there's those 2. The other one is more native to the Racing Champions line, which is the Buick Regal T-Type. It's been released as a Grand National. All sorts. It's a really cool casting. It's kind of big. It might be larger than 1/64 scale. Hard to say. But this thing is pretty nifty. And it's come out in several different colors. It's been released in the Johnny Lightning line. It's been released as a Racing Champions. You know, Round 2 likes to kind of share toolings between brands. And I think the hood opens on this one, yeah. And there it is. Got an opening hood. Pretty detailed. This one's kind of it's more of a Racing Champions type of construction. Metal base, metal body, and then it has like a plastic piece up here for the front grille bumper, and the rear bumper I think is also a plastic piece. So that's kind of more of a Racing Champions thing to have separate pieces for the bumpers. You don't typically see that with Johnny Lightning stuff. However, this does have a Johnny Lightning stamp in the base. So, I mean, that makes you think that it was originally tooled for the Johnny Lightning line. I know it's kind of weird that they do that they have these castings that will like be released under different brands. But I mean, they can do it. They own all 3 brands, and that's, you know, they got this massive tooling catalog. They can do what they want with it. And these definitely sell. These don't hang out on the pegs. You know, any G-body, you know, is not gonna chill on the pegs. These will get picked up immediately when seen, if you have a store that actually carries them. So there's that. And they're still kind of fairly limited, being only 6,000 pieces in comparison to where, you know, Johnny Lightning is at now and Auto World is at now. So all right, so speaking of Johnny Lightning, I think that should be the next thing that we peek at. We'll start with the non-Auto World cat. Well, actually, no. Yeah, the brand new tooling. Let's start with this. So this is a brand new casting for Johnny Lightning. This is, I believe, the first release of it. Well, probably the version A would be the first one. I don't even know what color the version A is in. I think it's like a maroon or something like that. But brand new Nissan 300ZX. This is a 1984 flavor. And this is extremely rare. Only a handful of dark green metallic Nissan 300ZXs are known to have made it to the North American market. Interesting. So, Classic Gold series is a great series from Johnny Lightning. They're mostly just, you know, there's going to be factory colors. They're going to be highly detailed. They're going to just look great. And one of my favorite series, of course, from Johnny Lightning. Street Freaks is really cool too. It's definitely got some unique and interesting stuff. But if you want more just straight up replicas of vehicles, Classic Gold is the one for you. And being that this is a new tooling for Johnny Lightning, the guys at Round 2 basically sort of pledged to keep things 1/64 scale. Of course, save for, well, the wheels might be, they're closer than normal Johnny Lightning wheels, I would say. But they are keeping things as close to 1/64 scale as possible on these newer toolings, much like they do, of course, with Auto World, where everything is 1/64 scale. And I'll tell you, this doesn't disappoint. This is pretty sweet. You got a nice detailed engine in there, opening hood, which functions quite well. We've got some nice details in the back. We got some nice details in the front as well. It is a pretty dark color, so maybe that won't bring out the detail as much in camera as I can see it here in person. But this is a pretty slick tooling. I mean, honestly, they could swap this into Auto World, and I don't think anybody would really bat an eye. The tires might be a little bit wide, and they are a different style than Auto World goes with, to the fact that they're not fixed to the axle, so they spin independently. And that's something that's different for Auto World. They typically will not do that. They'll be fixed on the axle, much like, well, like these are. Spin one tire, the other one spins, of course, because they're fixed on the axle. And then that's a good way to kind of check here. So this, yeah, native to Johnny Lightning, right? Probably not Racing Champions, because as you can see, these wheels are not fixed on the axle. Like those would be. Anyway, really cool. I like this. I like this quite a bit. Of course, I will like it. I'm a big fan of Z cars and all of that. So, of course, I'm going to be digging on this, and I'm probably going to get any version of this that they put out, you know, until it gets too crazy with too many versions. But I will get a bunch of these for sure. This is a winner casting. Good job, guys, around 2 on that one. All right. Next are Auto World castings that have now been turned into Johnny Lightnings and also are being released as Auto World still in the deluxe line for those Target exclusive multi-pack releases, which is interesting. So again, another casting that gets borrowed in between brands now. Well, technically this is a separate tooling because this doesn't have a plastic base, and it's got rubber tires, it's got Johnny Lightning tires, all that jazz. In an Auto World it does not. But anyway, there are some cool castings. I'm glad that they're getting used. Street Freaks Projects in Progress, a very popular series. Sub-series of the Street Freaks series is the Project in Progress series. And without a doubt, it's a cool one because who doesn't like, you know, project cars, or like cars that look unfinished, or cars with like some patina, or cars with some rust, cars with, you know, just a little bit more detail than your standard, you know, pristinely painted, brand new looking car. So these are cool, and I quite like them. I think this looks really good. No shine on it at all. It's just like matte finish stuff. We got some primer gray stuff. We've got what it looks like to be rust or almost mud, but I think it's supposed to be, like surface rust. And it looks good. So you can see the tooling number on the bottom here is 164024, which would be the Auto World tooling number, and then it's got the JL designation, which is the Johnny Lightning version of the tooling. There's no opening features on any of these toolings, and that is completely fine. That there is not. And this is just definitely pretty cool. Cheval, huh? That's cool. El Camino. That's a cool one. I really like this. This release is great. I'll definitely have to get the other version of it that I don't have, for sure. These also come with like a little card thing. Regal Alki. And then, yeah. Next, another Auto World one. This is the Fox Body Mustang. And, of course, everybody loves a Fox Body. Well, not everybody, but cool dudes like Fox Body Mustangs, right? Silver Poly, limited to 12,768 pieces. This is, again, from Classic Gold, so same series as this vehicle here. What else is in this series? Mazda RX-7, have to get that one. The Corvette Z06, that's another Auto World casting, I believe. Mercury Cougar Eliminator, that's another Auto World casting. So, and then a Plymouth Savoy Max Wedge. Man, the whole series is kind of fire there. I would be tempted to get all of it. And maybe I will if I come across them. So, yeah, Johnny's just been doing a really good job. And they got the most variety, which is cool. So I like this casting. Good execution of it. I think these wheels look great on it being blacked out. And that's a nice looking Fox Body Mustang. Again, no opening features on this because it was originally an Auto World Deluxe casting, which is Auto World's very basic castings. And so no opening features. Originally this would have came with a plastic base. And again, if we take a look and find the tooling number on the bottom of the base, you can see it's 164-023 and then -JL. This is a really slick looking car. I quite like it indeed. What do you guys think about Johnny Lightning doing this, using all these deluxe castings, retooling them as Johnny Lightnings? I'm a fan. But then I get into the point where do I need to collect all of those now? Since I'm sort of an Auto World completionist, so I need to try to get all of them now? Probably. And they have been releasing a lot of them. All right, this next one's a 1993 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. Again, this is from Street Freaks 2021 release 4. And I debated on whether or not I should open up this one. And I guess it's kind of destiny that it has arrived in my collection since it is a Firebird and it's a White Lightning. And the last White Lightning I found was also a Firebird. So it's like, should probably just keep it. Normally, I'm not a White Lightning collector. That's the reason why I would debate. And some people really like White Lightnings, and, if I could trade it for an Ultra Red, that's kind of what I would do. Normally, or, just ditch it on eBay or something like that, and then use the money to buy an Ultra Red or whatever. It's kind of normally how I would operate with these, but what the heck? It's an Auto World casting, it's a Firebird, and it's a White Lightning. So, there you go. It's got a little bit of a quality issue, and honestly, if this wasn't a White Lightning, I probably would have left her behind. A little issue up here with this wheel well, looking a little jagged. I'm not sure if that's just like the graphic on it, or what. I think it is, actually. So that's not terrible. Sort of fixed it already. The other thing is this rear wing here, spoiler. These don't hardly ever sit right on this casting. It seems to be worse on the Johnny Lightning ones than it has been in the Auto World ones, but it needs to be, I don't know, glued down. Should be much more closer to the body like that. You shouldn't be able to see this little thing right here. And we got some flashing left on the tire too. So just some slight issues there with quality. And that's, you know, it's somewhat irritating because it's a chase car and stuff like that. Looks like there's some flashing on the body here too. So this one's definitely I don't know, something's up with it. Trying to get that off of there. You see that right there? There we go. Just a little bit of extra metal that was hanging on. So the more we've been handling this, we've been improving it, but it's just too bad I had some issues. But still cool, whatever. The White Lightnings in this series now, you can tell they have a white interior and they have a white base. So very subtle, but there you go. It's a White Lightning. All right, next, and I guess sort of last, we've got 3 more vehicles to look at, and they're Auto World. Of course, my favorite brand from round 2. And we've got some Miho exclusives. Miho's been doing this Patina series, and to be honest with you, I think this is the best one that they've come out with so far. They did a square body release at about the same time as this. I do not have that yet, but don't worry, I will get it. Of course I will. These are limited to 3,600 pieces, so not too many of them out there. And I think this is definitely the best one so far that they've put out in the Patina series. So there you go. Card art's pretty cool. Looks pretty good. Pretty basic on the back there. Just M&J Toys. So you guys know M&J Toys comes out with some really cool exclusives. They do a lot of them a year. Across a few different brands, you know. They do some Mini GT exclusive. They do all sorts of stuff. So I like that they keep the box with these too. That's really cool. I like the boxes for Auto World. Sad that when they went away, made me sad. So glad to get them in the Mio exclusive cars. And this is just a sick looking patinaed car. They did a really fantastic job on this one, honestly. It's a metallic paint with like this patina rust, surface rust kind of stuff. And it actually looks really good. Some of the times when they've done this, it hasn't looked all that great. This is kind of like, the patina is almost like a wrap that they put on the body. You can see it's actually like creased right here. And that's how it's attached. But man, I think this looks pretty awesome. My 409. Of course, the hood opens on this one. I mean, it's an Auto World. The top of this car is plastic because there is a convertible version of the casting, or a top-down version. And there you go, metal base. The wheels are a great choice for this. I think it looks really good. I would love to have this car in real life just as it sits right here. That would look so cool, just driving around in something like this. That would be lovely. I think this looks way cooler than just like a straight up, you know, brand new painted looking Impala. Like, this looks awesome. So I'm a big fan. I like it a lot. All right. Next we got some Ratfink stuff. And like I said, normally I'm not really excited about Ratfink. The graphics, I don't like a lot of crazy wild graphics as it is, but for some reason these two look, I think, really good actually. And Mio's done a lot of Ratfink ones. They've done some square bodies, did some other stuff. This one's only limited to 2,400 pieces, so fairly limited. I'm starting to have a hard time. I will tell you this. I'm starting to have a real hard time actually keeping caught up with hobby exclusive Auto World, because there's so much of it coming out. And now they're actually branching out, and they're not all square bodies, which is something to celebrate, honestly. However, there's just so many. It seems like there's just so many coming out. I think we got bottlenecked, when there was all these supply chain issues, and now, that stuff seems to be coming out at a far more rapid pace now, and maybe that's why, it seems like I'm struggling to keep up. But, maybe that will normalize at some point. It's either that or they actually really are putting out a lot more stuff. I don't know. But this thing is actually killer looking. I really like it. It's got the green and orange flames, green interior. It's a rat runner. I don't know. This casting's really cool too. And I just think this thing looks wild, and I actually really like it. It's finked, man. This thing's been finked. It's been all finked up. Digging that. What do you think about that? Rat runner. It's cool. I like it. I think it's cool. So, another Mopar, another rat fink. It seems to now, this seems to be like the new hobby exclusive favorite tooling. I've been seeing quite a bit of these, at least for Mio. Mio's been putting out quite a bit of these. I mean, they've had a few before this, but it just seems like lately there's been a few of these that are coming out. Actually, Super Mini Wheels is putting out a golf one that actually was fantastic. And I don't get excited about golf really anymore either, but they chose this and I hope I get it to show you sometime soon, but they chose this really retro looking livery for it, and it looks so good. So this thing's pretty wild. We got pink, black, and this green. The colors look great together, and it's just wild. It's interesting. It's limited to 2,400 pieces. So again, not a ton of them made. The Hell Rat. Rat Fink Racing, the Hell Rat. It's cool. I mean, I like the exclusive stuff, and especially the more they deviate from just being a standard car, in a standard livery is neat, because, Auto World would never put this out in a basic line, right? Because they stick to like factory colors and all that stuff. So if you want something like a little wild, a little crazy, you got to go to a hobby exclusive for that. And Mio, does a lot of them. So there you go. I don't know if this is an actual real car. Does someone have their Hellcat painted like this? Or wrapped like this, or whatever you want to call it? The wheels on these are not on exactly straight. That's fixable, and that's actually seems to be very common for this casting. They kind of wobble a little bit. Again, not a huge deal. You can play with it and get it and fix it, but slightly annoying still. But there you go. I like it. I like it. I like both of these. I do. I think they're both pretty awesome. I really want the Ultra Reds for both of them too. And they're going to be tough ones because they're pretty limited. So, all right, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Thanks again for watching another long Diecast weekly episode. We got to pick a favorite as usual. I think actually my favorite might be this Auto World Mio exclusive, or it could be this brand new tooling. This is actually quite fantastic. Actually, there's a lot of really good stuff in this episode. It's all domestic stuff. There's no, I don't have anything super fancy here, like a Tomica Limited Vintage or anything like that. This is all stuff that's available, some of it in stores, and the other from a very familiar hobby dealer, Mio exclusives, who, all your favorite hobby dealers, a lot of them anyway, sell Mio stuff. So it should be easily accessible to get these. You might have to go to eBay or whatever, but they're not terribly expensive. Man, out of these, though, I would definitely recommend this one. I think this is really, really sick. Yeah, so I like it. Fighting a White Lightning was cool, too. And it's a Firebird, so that's kind of neat. All right, but that's going to be it. Oh, yeah, I mean, you can't forget this. This is a weird thing, right? That's odd. And odd is cool. It's different. So, all right. Thank you guys again for watching another episode. I really do appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one, and you have yourself an excellent week. Later.